Is life a play? He, or my husband, spouse, adorable darling, seems to arrive at home tired completely. Seeing him in such a mood, I smile at him with a pleasant face as if to welcome him. He, too, smiles like a mechanic, dramatic and artistic smile. If the smile is realistic and natural, it appears to be equal to an elixir. This is my life that awaits anxiously a sweet smile, the springing from the core of the heart. It is matchless, priceless, enticing, pleasant, spontaneous, natural, and what-not. I always have cherished a dream at my heart and make several attempts such that I can bring that smile on his face. At least once I wish I could and give the same. I'm the one who is living among my spouse, son and daughter-in-law, daughter and son-in-law, grandchildren, friends and relatives. I guess I am living alone like Robinson Crusoe. I am unable to hold a dialogue with anybody at home and have failed to communicate regularly. Nobody has understood me. I am all alone and have had to live, burying my pain, desire and dream of my own into my heart. I am, and look hollow, empty, yet go on to live a meaningless life. An artificial, unreal, melancholic life where there is no eagerness, enthusiasm and cheerfulness. I had not got what I wanted, but I got what I do not deserve. I always experience that I am wandering aimlessly in the world where artificial, mechanical people live today. It must have been a different life that I could live in a comfortable manner. Yeah! The fact is that he seems to be happy to see me during a 3-decade-long conjugal life of ours. He appears to be cheerful while living together. While he departs, he looks dejected and sad. It looks as though he is trying whatever he can to please me. For me, like a spouse, he treats me like a spouse does and fulfills all the responsibilities. However, all he does is that he only pretends to be happy, to laugh, and to be cheerful. I guess he seems to have done everything. I do not think that his smile, laughter, cheerfulness, activity and responsibility all appear to sound real and natural. It looks as though he was acting as an actor in a theatre, utterly artificial. He pretends to be, so he's dramatizing. In other words, I am only a mute spectator who is watching a show in progress. I am his spouse as a just spectator, who, more like a principal character in a play, takes delight in his dramatization while watching his acting. Suddenly, a scene of the event that resulted in our life many years ago reels in my psyche. He and I are the beautiful youths who were in love. I thought I could not live without him, neither could he. Therefore we who fall in love when young and emotionally strong are tied in nuptial bond. Tied in such a bond, I had thought our love attained the success. He too had said so. Our love and dream came true. With the passage of time, I mothered 3 sons and a daughter. By now, I am fortunate to be with daughter-in-law, son-in-law, along with grandchildren. As others see us, we look like ideal couple and we are worthy of jealousy. People remember that we are ideal couple who abundantly receive conjugal love and live a happy, successful life. We are highly grateful since we have received a kind of love we deserve. However, is the reality the same? Experiences, I ask myself. We were so happy a year after the marriage that the very year was sufficient material for us to imagine and live a whole life. We would laugh together and weep together. We were one. We were in unison with our body and soul, as if 2 of us merged into one. Gradually, our love began to wither and lose its importance as we fell prey to a practical life. Where did we mistake in love? Why? Why did this happen in love? The belief that our love could be immortalized ended in a smoke instantly. We were busy finding faults at each other every other day. Just as we loved each other passionately, so we hated, quarreled, and argued hotly in a proportionate manner. Tolerance has its limit because it has crossed the boundary. Quite unable to tolerate, I left home in one evening. He went on to say,
"Do not abandon this home. Never ever come back home if you leave." I took no notice of what he said. I left home just once in contempt. The following day I returned to home. Shaking with anger, he asked, "Where had you been to? Who did you spend the night with and come home? Where had you been to?" Who did you spend the night with and come home?
I've stayed with Menka, a friend of mine, and I am right back now from her, answered I humbly.
Menka or Bishwamitra. Did you spend the night and have a frolic with that chap Ashok?
Ashok was a young man who liked me before marriage. How dare you doubt my character? I boiled with humiliation and flew into fury. Angrily I said, "My mind, my body, that's my pleasure. If ever I sleep with him, what more can you do to me?"
I will oust you from this house. Get out of this house immediately.
He forcefully drove me out of home and shut the door against me. Again he did not allow me to enter the house. A human heart. I wanted to see him suffer with jealousy, but I was not expecting the result of that kind. I had not made any relation with another man. He was trying to insult me, accusing me of developing the extramarital affair with the other man. After that, the only way left for me to do was to knock at the door of the society, court, and police station and to make an appeal for justice. My kins, friends and neighbors all busied in the mass discussion, meeting and negotiation so that both of us could reconcile and live together. I could ever divorce from him at that time and live separately. The reason behind the inability to take a decision in divorce is that I was pregnant with a 2-month baby growing in my womb. For that matter, a reconciliation was made between us in the end. As others see us, our conjugal life keeps on the track again, just like a completely wrecked vehicle that restarts. Thus, our conjugal life ran in its own course. A stretch of a 3-decade-long time has elapsed today with the twinkling of eyes. Ah, how swiftly decade-long conjugal life passes. He and I have spent it. Love rests on conjugal fidelity. In fact, faith, which is the strong basis of a happy married life, has shaken off, eroded and withered on its own. We made a false pretension of living a happy married life as if filled with love and faith. We were dramatizing a practical but a happy married life so that the others would think that we were happy. I have been questioning myself for a long year today. Have I received pure love? Have I tasted it? Have I savored love, pleasure and sweetness of life that one receives from the opposite sex? Have I ever experienced the real taste of happiness and sorrow? I guess consciousness and belief that is deep-seated in the psyche might automatize life, revitalizing it. However, I do not know exactly how the human, like a listless machine, is transformed into a dramatic character, more precisely, a heartless, unreasonable being. After our reconciliation, our conjugal life seems to have run naturally just in a glance. I was doing all the family duties as a spouse had to, and am doing the same. Like me, he continued to fulfill the duties and liabilities as a husband and now does it. We both as a husband and wife are living together. We are exhibiting cordiality, love and duty between each other, but we are far from being satisfied with love. I feel that the way he loves me makes me think he is merely acting like a husband character in a play who has some obligations to fulfill the family needs. Actually, he appears to be happy in my company. It sounds as though it were true and sincere, but it is artificial. Why do I feel so repeatedly, although it is felt unconsciously from the bottom of my heart? Because of that, I feel that my life is like a burden heavier than the universe. This makes me think and feel that my life is unsuccessful. When I cannot control the volcano-like feelings in despair and grief, I have over many times asked, sometimes crying, sometimes laughing, and at other times being sentimental, "Are you happy and contented with me?"
Yes, I'm happy. Who on earth can receive all the things which a man expects to get from a woman other than me?
I guess he still is lying. He is dramatizing. I tried to give him what I had to love, submission, happiness as a woman. Since I took him to be my beloved wife and the first man, I tried to do to the best of my capacity. However, he does not seem to be happy and satisfied with me. He pretends to be happy, cheerful and contented. He acts as if he is. It is a farce. The bitter feelings and experience during my life have shattered and drained away not only mine, but also his life. I think all the time that a small mistake taken just in momentous excitement could make life desert-like, listless and dry. With the attention and caution not to err in life, it rather goes on to become artificial and dramatic more and more. This shallow artificiality of life is changing my self-respect into the autumn-like season. Why am I thinking so? Like in mathematics, suppose I married another man. What if I married nobody? Did it make any difference to the present life? Suppose that marriage has nothing to do with reality, so it is futile to imagine so. Nevertheless, the mind changes its direction at any time. As I compare life I lived, it bleeds my life intensely. If only I had lived life like that. Would life again be like before? Would life once again be caught up in hypocrisy and artificiality? Oh no, what on the earth am I thinking about? Why should I bother in vain in matter of little importance? High ambition, intense desire, illusion of perfection, quest for unlived experience, oasis in life, and so on? They are the sources of sorrows in human life, I suppose so. Considering whatever we have got in life, it is best to live actively in the human world. Thus we are just acting as if we are faithful lovers and real characters of the real world. I have not really plunged myself into the depth of his heart. Neither have I read him and his mind. He was my first beloved. He only remained as a husband after the unnatural argument and quarrel erupted between us. I have not yet understood my spouse's mind as he and I loved each other before marriage. How unfortunate I am. It is quite difficult to understand the man's mind. Perhaps I have not been able to be dedicated fully to him. He and I are not united both in hearts and minds. The mind is strange. It has its own place. It does not allow me to do unwanted things at all. Neither can I also regard him as my lover. He's acting as an artificial lover, or it may be that I am inelusive. The picture or image of the human love and the world which I have imagined is unreal and illusionary. Who has received the true and unconditioned love in the transitory life of the world? While I remember the dry, meaningless life I spent without love, I feel like crying now. It so happened as it happened. One cannot restart a new life once it is already spent. It is not a matter of improving life just as one cries, laughs, and repents. I have almost spent my previous life like a drama where I'm an actor, acting different roles. As we are aged, we are still dramatizing before the others, to appear so, to be happy and to be loved profusely. I am acting like a woman who is constantly in love with a man and has to dedicate to him. Since he is a husband, he is playing the role as a man who exhibits love, takes the responsibility, sacrifices and dedicates. In this world, all the people, like in a play, take the part as lovers, husband or wife, father or mother, son or daughter, friend or foe in an artistic manner. Everybody is acting here. Thus, being caught up in the seas of illusion, people keep asking, what is reality? When one does not live a life of purity, the heart sinks and drains away. An amount of blood, tear and pus flow from the sore of the broken heart. It aches, but it is difficult to cry, due to pain. Why not act if it benefits oneself and the others under the pretext of living happily? Why shouldn't I take the different part of characters as in a drama of human life? Maybe my husband is acting a devoted, darling husband in spite of his unwillingness. Tut, tut. This is a poor life. Oh, how so poor and helpless this life is. The dramatic art has elapsed as a joke in the course of acting. Is life such a drama? Or is the world a stage for the humans to dramatize the unreal art of incomplete life?